California in beautiful Angels Stadium. Another gorgeous evening here in Southern California. It's 24 degrees, and you couldn't ask for a better atmosphere to play baseball in. John Gibbons and the Blue Jays enjoying their West Coast trip so far. They won the first 2 games. They've outscored the Angels 12-2, and they shut them out 5-0 in last night's game. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Blue Jays. Jose Bautista in that cleanup spot over his last 5 games against the Angels, hitting nearly .500. Bautista's had a good series so far. And then down in that 6th spot, Troy Tulowitzki. His career against the Angels starter Ricky Nolasco has been good, 6 for 19. He has doubled, homered, and driven in 4 against Ricky Nolasco, who was picked up. Nolasco will make his 9th start for the Angels here tonight.
He's a native of Corona, California, which is only about 24 miles from here. He's pitched well since the Angels obtained him from the Minnesota Twins. That was back on August the 1st. The Royals just haven't been there for him. He's just 1-6 in his last 8 starts, but has gone at least 6 innings in all but one of those games. He's pitched against the Jays 4 times in his career, and the Jays have scored 10 earned runs against Nolasco in 18 1/3 innings. Tough right-hander in the past against the Blue Jays. They're going to have their work cut out for him tonight against Nolasco.
Devin Travis will lead things off. He is in the box, and Nolasco will deliver the first pitch. It is in there for a strike, and we are underway. Devin with a 13-game hit streak. Make it 14. Not wasting any time at all. Devin Travis lines a single into center. Leadoff single for Travis. Well, we mentioned the hit streak now at 14 for Devin Travis, and he had been tied with Josh Donaldson, and then he got a hit in his first at bat last night. Got a blue base hit. You see Devin Travis with a 14-gamer. Donaldson's had 3 long hit streaks this season. Troy Tulowitzki also with a double-digit hit streak this season as well.
Should be a good matchup for Devin Travis. And Ricky Nolasco likes to use that fastball away, and if his approach is good like it was in that at bat, he should have success tonight.
Josh Donaldson has really enjoyed his first 2 games here in Anaheim. He's come to the plate 10 times in the series so far and reached 8 of those 10 times. And Josh has taken his walks. He's got 99 walks for the season, and he's tied for the major league lead in runs scored at 114 with Chris Bryant of the Cubs.
He's had a much simpler approach here we have seen over the last couple of days. Not really trying to overpower the baseball, just put a good swing on it.
Donaldson, of course, coming back from that hip injury. He missed 3 games, and this is the first time he has returned to third base defensively. He was the DH in the first 2 games in this series. You got to keep your head up with Nolasco on the mound. He has 4 pickoffs this season. The Angels as a team lead the majors in that department. They have picked off 23 base runners. Jeffrey Marte is the first baseman tonight. High pop down the right side. Long run for Calhoun. He will get there and makes the catch in foul territory. Now, defense has been a concern for Mike Scioscia this season. They've committed 91 errors. Only Minnesota Twins have made more errors than the Angels. It's Shane Robinson getting a start in left. Mike Trout and Cole Calhoun in center and right. Nolasco are back at third base. He did not play in the game last night at third. Simmons and Petit up the middle. Jeffrey Marte moves all over the field. Tonight he's at first, and Jet Bandy doing the catching for Ricky Nolasco. So Donaldson's retired. Now Edwin Encarnacion. He's the DH tonight.
You're talking about the problems that the Angels have had fielding. Well, you're not going to find any problems with this guy out in center field. Mike Trout has played 138 of a possible 147 games for Los Angeles in center field. He's averaging the most putouts per 9 innings in the American League also as a center fielder. He plays deep. You know that. He's got outstanding speed. He's just a great ball player.
Edwin, a very tentative swing. He taps it foul. You can see he's frustrated. He went after that pitch Like a breaking ball. He started to swing and tried to check.
Well, to see right now, it can't be any fun for the hitters. It's twilight here in Los Angeles, and the lights just haven't taken effect. You can see the sunlight splattering across the field also, so it's very tough to pick up the spin of the breaking ball right now.
Oh, 0-2 to Encarnacion. Devin Travis with a leadoff single. He's camped out at first. You can see Encarnacion couldn't see anything. He just waved at that pitch and strikes out. 2 outs. Well, Mike Trout is a fan favorite no matter where he goes, and certainly here, as he took the field just to start this ball game, he goes out and flips a ball to a youngster, and that youngster has a memory that'll last him a lifetime. He got a ball from Mike Trout to start the game, and it's a celebration.
Look at that, high fives all the way around. We got a shot of him yesterday right before he trotted out to start the game, signing autographs for fans right around the dugout.
How about that? A couple of big wows.
I'd like to get one of those signed baseballs. How do you do that?
He's very accommodating, that's for sure. 2 outs for Jose Bautista. You mentioned he's hit in 5 straight against the Angels, 10 for 21 with a home run and 6 RBIs. Pat, you mentioned how difficult it is for hitters this time of the night. Generally, Blue Jays are just finishing up their batting practice for a 7 o'clock game, and this is when you really have a tough time picking the spin up, seeing the baseball. Not a whole lot of contrast. Everything is, like you say, in the twilight.
You hope right now you get a fastball in a fastball count.
Bautista drills it high in the air. Trout on the run. He's got room in front of the warning track in left. And the inning is over. Jose Bautista flies out to center field. The Blue Jays get a single and leave a base runner. Francisco Liriano will take the mound when we come back to Anaheim. Season as the manager of the Angels. It's been a frustrating season to be sure, but he's had quite a run here in Anaheim. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Angels. Just 63 wins against 84 losses this season. Mike Trout, he is an all-star, and he's always going to be a matter of conversation. Against Liriano, the Blue Jays started tonight. He's 4 for 10 with 3 RBIs. And then right behind him, Blue Jays have had trouble with Albert Pujols. In fact, last night Albert got his first 2 hits against R.A. Dickey in his career. And for his career against the Blue Jays, batting .336.
Tonight they get Francisco Liriano, and Francisco can't pitch much better than he did in his last start. That was against Tampa Bay. Through plenty of strikes, he worked into the 7th inning, giving up just 3 hits to Tampa Bay. The only damage were the back-to-back home runs in the 6th inning. That really cost him a win. He ended up with a no decision. The Jays would go on to win that ball game against Tampa Bay, but Liriano was impressive.
Well, he's going to be impressive again tonight if the Angels swing at the first pitch like Escobar did right there. That was really a big aspect of Liriano's success against Tampa Bay. They were very aggressive. He was around the plate Ground ball. Travis at second. 2 pitches, 1 out. Well, when Liriano throws strikes, you can bet there's going to be some ground balls. But let's take a look at the outfield initially, how it sets up with Saunders, Pilar, and Bautista from left to right in the outfield. On the infield, Josh Donaldson making his first start back at third base. Tulowitzki and Travis, a double play combination up the middle. Justin Smoke starting for the first time since last Saturday, and Russell Martin back behind the plate for Francisco Liriano.
That's a great sign to see Josh with his glove on and out of his normal position at third base. 120th start at third base this season for Donaldson. As the hip is okay to get out there and play.
That's great news. You need him in the lineup, but when he can play third base, that gives John Gibbons other options to use somebody else at the DH spot. Liriano throws a first pitch strike to Cole Calhoun. Strike 2.
That was something you were just talking about. You touched on it, how well he pitched early in the count against Tampa Bay. He threw first pitch strikes 15 of the 23 batters that he faced. So when you do that, when you use that fastball and you get ahead early, he's got a lot of ways he can get you out, especially that devastating slider.
There it is, strikeout, first one of the night. That's the 1,000th strikeout by the Angels this season. They don't strike out much, but Cole Calhoun strikes out for the second out of the inning.
Well, Liriano's always been a guy who can have high strikeout totals, and this is one of the reasons why. Against lefties, he can bury that slider down and away like he does right there to get Calhoun. Get ahead early and then finish him off with that changeup or that slider.
Well, you know, the Angels have been struggling, so they're going to be anxious to swing early in the count. Mike Trout takes pitch outside. The Angels really haven't done much at all at home lately. Over their last 10 games, they've been outscored 49-16. The Blue Jays have outscored them 12-2 in this series so far.
Tough to win with about a run and a half a game from your offense. They've also had a lot of problems hitting with runners in scoring position.
Ground ball, sharply hit, but right to Tulowitzki. 3 up, 3 down, and Liriano needs just 8 pitches to retire the side in order. That's a great start for Liriano. After he entered the game as a pinch hitter, he's had a terrific second half to his season. You look at the Blue Jays' second half OPS leaders, it's none other than Russell Martin at 9-10, and then Encarnacion Donaldson and Devin Travis, they all fall in line, but Russell Martin very quietly become the most consistent hitter for the Blue Jays in the second half of the season.
That's the OPS, the on-base plus the slugging. It doesn't tell you the whole story. How about the big hits that Russell has come up with? Remember the 3-0 home run he had to help them win a ball game? I believe that was in Tampa. He also had a three-run home run here at this ballpark to help him win game 1. In this one, he had a big hit yesterday when he doubled to right field.
That was in the 9th inning. He came around to score to add to the Blue Jays' 9th inning. They scored 3 in the 9th. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. Ricky Nolasco was acquired from the Minnesota Twins midseason in a trade that included Alex Meyer, who will pitch tomorrow.
They just gave up Hector Santiago and a minor league reliever to get Nolasco. He signed as a free agent with Minnesota, and that just didn't work out for him. He's a California guy. I think he wanted to come back home where it's a little bit warmer.
Russell Martin gets on that hanging breaking ball and rips it into center field. Martin makes a big turn and he looks to be okay. You'll remember last night, as that snap throw is behind Martin, he gets back safely. But last night he had some trouble as he rounded first base. No problem this time.
That's a hanging breaking ball and a pretty good swing by Russell Martin. Now he's thinking about 2 and he's going to put on the brakes with the big turn. You can't take anything for granted when you're playing this game. When you're out on that field, Andrelton Simmons spun and threw a strike over to first base trying to catch him by surprise.
Leadoff man aboard for Tulowitzki. Troy 6 for 19 against Ricky Nolasco with the home run. Breaking ball for his strike. Blue Jays got the leadoff man aboard in the first inning and couldn't advance him. Same now here in the second. Martin with the leadoff single.
A couple of fly balls and a strikeout. Tulowitzki's got the right side of the infield if he wants it. He's been hitting some balls hard the other way. Nolasco, it's been pretty simple since he has come over here. He's used that arm side fastball. There's a little breaking ball. But it's a fastball, excuse me, to his glove side, to the outside part of the plate, to the right-handers. It's got a little bit of a tail to it. Throws a lot of them to the outside part of the plate to right-handed batters.
Made his first start for the Angels on August 4th against Oakland right here in Anaheim. Took a no decision in that game.
He's never beaten the Blue Jays in his career. He's been in the big leagues 10 years. He's never beaten the Blue Jays.
He's made 4 starts against the Jays. He's held them to a .246 opponent's batting average, and his ERA is just under 5. Popped in the air down the right side. Marte over near the seats, and he'll be out of play. Tulowitzki had a 2-run home run in the 4th in last night's game. Home run number 24 for Tulo. It was the first 2 runs of the ball game. Bautista walked to lead the inning off, and then Tulo went deep against Jared Weaver, his former teammate at Long Beach State.
Something on the inner half, not real hard, not real firm. He's able to get to it.
Out straight back in our direction, and I'm not catching that one.
Well, it's there if you want it. It's right there.
Well, they're going to let the pitcher have it, not the catcher.
Boy, you're close here. Those things come rocketing up here.
Well, the pitchers never make the plays. Catchers always.
Does he not want that?
See, there's the pitcher right there. That's Mark Gubazar, who does the color work for the Angels. There goes the runner Martin, and the throw to second is not in time. Martin picks up a stolen base, his second of the season. The element of surprise.
Yes, it was. He stole that one on Ricky Nolasco, and he picked a perfect pitch to do it on, a very slow curveball. And Russell, watch him over at first base. He takes off on first movement, anticipates that slow curveball, slides in for a stolen base. What a heads-up piece of base running right there by Russell Martin.
So now Martin's got himself in scoring position. Nobody out. Tulowitzki with a 2-2 count. Saw that stolen base number for Martin, his 99th career stolen base.
That's just heads-up base running right there and being into the ball game. Anticipating a slow curveball from Velasco. You might see other Blue Jays try to take advantage of that slow curveball tonight when they're on the bases.
You can hear the Blue Jay fans rallying in support of Tulowitzki, and there are a lot of Blue Jay fans here. Three-two pitch. Fouled into the upper deck.
You know, Russell is so heads up in the ball game. He's got a feel for the game. He's going to pull that left arm back in, saying, I know this is going to be close, so I'm going to try and use my right hand and go around the tag and get onto that base. He's got so much baseball intuition. In the moment, you can see he's dirty already from that aggressive slide in the second base.
Tulowitzki strikes out Velasco with the off-speed pitch.
Save during the plumbing, heating, and electrical expert sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Beautiful evening here in Anaheim. Angels Stadium has gone through several different renovations, and it's back to a beautiful state now. Open air stadium. Michael Saunders, he gets the start in left field tonight. Michael batting .260 for the season. Way outside, that breaking ball got away from Velasco.
You know, if he throws another one of those, something slow away like that, Michael's got that whole left side of the field that he can just flip a ball over to left field and pick up an RBI single. That's Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop, right behind Russell Martin. Look at all of that turf he has to work with on the left side.
He takes ball 2-0. No score. We're in the top of the second. Russell Martin led things off with a single. He stole second base. He's there now with one out for Michael Saunders. Simmons breaks in behind Martin, but Russell's back easily. Saunders batting with runners in scoring position, batting just .196 this season. He's been dropped down into the 6th spot as the regulars are healthy, getting back in the lineup. Donaldson's back, so that pushes the lineup down a little bit further.
Well, like I said, if he wants an easy RBI, a ground ball to the left side of the infield is going to get him a hit. All he has to do is get it by Escobar. You know, Escobar, the third baseman. And the way Russell has been running, he's got himself a stolen base. Sure, he can score on a ground single.
You see, to counteract the way they have set up the defense, Velasco's pitching Saunders inside with fastballs and throwing him slow breaking balls.
Hoping that he'll roll over on the ball or keep the ball on the ground to the right side.
In case you haven't heard, the Red Sox beat the Yankees 6-5 today in Boston. So Blue Jays are currently 2.5 back in the AL East. Pitch outside. Saunders works Velasco for the walk. 2 aboard now for Justin Smoke, who's starting at first base for the first time since last Saturday against Boston at Rogers Center. And he's one of the guys that loses out when Donaldson has to serve as the DH. Because then Donaldson's the DH. That robs the manager the opportunity to be flexible with that DH spot.
Edwin then has to go and play first base, and the guy who gets hurt by that is Smokey. But Gibby was saying today before the ball game, he said, I got to get Edwin off of his feet. He's been playing a lot of first base lately. He's better when he has chances to just go and DH and get off of his feet and just thinking about hitting. So Justin Smoak gets his chance tonight in this ball game.
Smoak takes the first pitch strike from Nolasco. Justin is 1 for 8 against the Angels righty. 1 out, runners at first and second. What are the conditions like now? It seems like it's gotten a little bit more favorable for the hitters.
Feels like it's getting a little bit better. It's a little bit darker. And you can pick up the breaking ball a little bit easier.
An early start here on Saturday evening, a 6 o'clock start, and everything was moved up a bit, so it's a bit of a challenge for the hitters early on. Breaking ball, fouled up. Smoak's batting in the 8th spot. Pilar is behind him, batting 9th.
Just a couple of left-handed batters in the lineup for the Blue Jays tonight. What Ricky Nolasco likes to do to lefties is throw that slow curveball like we have seen that last pitch to Justin Smoak. With 2 strikes, he'll use his fastball, slider, and curveball.
That time he elevated the fastball and strikes out Smoak. So a couple of strikeouts this inning, 3 in the ball game for Ricky Nolasco. They got Tulowitzki on a curveball, and here he strikes out Smoak with a high heater.
Again, throwing much better than his numbers indicate. 1 and 6, but his ERA has been pretty good. Problem is they haven't been able to score any runs for him this time. That ball, fastball elevated somewhat.
Nolasco is 33 years old, originally drafted and signed with the Cubs in 2001. Pilar takes a breaking ball strike. No score, top of the 2nd inning. Blue Jays have had a leadoff single in each of the first 2 innings. Blue Jays as a team batting just .234 over their last 11 games, scoring under 4 runs a game. Pilar hits it in the air down the right side. That's going to slice into the seats. Baltimore is playing Tampa Bay at Oriole Park at Camden Yards in Baltimore, and the score is 3-2 Tampa Bay, top of the 8th inning. And you can bet there are a lot of people down in that Blue Jays dugout peeking at that scoreboard out in right center.
We've been peeking at it all day, haven't we?
It's a great time of the year for baseball fans, for players, broadcasters. You see the Red Sox final, 6-5 over New York. Cleveland and Detroit, 1-0 game. Escobar will go to second for the force out. The inning is over. Blue Jays get a leadoff single and strand a pair. Middle of the 2nd, no score. in the first inning, hit a double. It was his 600th career double, and that put him in a class that's very small. 575 or more home runs, along with 600 plus doubles. Only 3 major leaguers have ever reached those numbers.
Some of the greatest sluggers of all time. You start with Barry Bonds with 762, the leader in home runs. Right behind him, the great Hank Aaron, 755 home runs to go along with 624 doubles. And Pujols isn't done yet. Sure to hit 600 home runs to go along with 600 doubles. He became the 16th player in Major League history with 600 doubles.
There's that 589 number. They have a countdown scoreboard here for Pujols as he marches towards 600 career home runs.
His next home run also will put him in an elite class. That would give him 30. As he takes strike one, that would also give him 14 seasons of at least 30 home runs.
Wow. How consistent is that? He came up on the scene with the Cardinals, and everybody said, boy, this kid can hit. Now they say, boy, this old man can hit.
It hasn't changed much, right? Hank Aaron did it 15 times, had 15 seasons of 30 home runs. Alex Rodriguez also tied with 15 seasons. Barry Bonds has 14, and Albert Pujols has 13.
Breaking ball pulled foul. Larry Ana, we got to point this out. He's thrown nothing but strikes. He's thrown 1 ball so far in this game. And that's what he did last time out against Tampa Bay. He really economized with his pitches. He had 1 inning in which he threw 16 pitches. Other than that, he was really good. The ideal number is right around 15. You throw 15 pitches per inning, you can stay in a game, and you're going to win a lot of games. But he threw a lot of strikes. He had a second inning total of 8 in his last start. He threw 9 pitches in the 6th inning.
You know what, Buck? I think he needs quick innings because he needs to go deep in this game tonight. Blue Jays are a little thin down in their bullpen tonight. Both Benoit, Grilli, and Osuna, all of them have worked the last 2 nights here, so they're just a little bit thin down there. John Gibbons and Dane Johnson hoping that Liriano can give them, 8, maybe even a complete game.
High and deep and gone. There's number 30 for Albert Pujols. He has hit the Blue Jays hard throughout his career. That's his 7th career home run against the Blue Jays, and he has given the Angels a 1-0 lead. That looked like a slider. It didn't break down, and Pujols didn't miss it.
Slider down and in, and for a big guy, he's got a short swing. And he's big and strong, too. He can just power that ball out of there. He had that short swing, a flat swing, and he drove right through it. And you can see Mike Trout is out of that dugout to give him a hug.
And they will make the appropriate adjustments on that scoreboard.
That breaks a tie with Babe Ruth and Mike Schmidt for the most 30 home run seasons. They were all tied at 13. He is now tied with Barry Bonds for 14 seasons of at least 30 home runs.
Tremendous career. Headed to the Hall of Fame, no question about it. There's another foul. This one into the dugout. This is Jeffrey Marte. Take another look at the swing by Pujols.
Slider down and in. You see how he got to that ball quickly? Shortened up that swing, got a little bit quicker to catch it out in front. RBI number 111.
Ground ball, base hit up the middle. Well, we mentioned that the home run for Pujols was his 30th of the season, and it is a marvelous stretch of consistency. Albert has 14 seasons of 30 or more home runs. Alex Rodriguez and Hank Aaron, the only players that have had more 30 home run seasons than Pujols and Bonds.
I mean, you're talking about the greatest of greats in this game. You're mentioned with Hank Aaron and Alex Rodriguez, Babe Ruth, Mike Schmidt. I mean, those are the greatest of greats.
We saw one of the more interesting moments at Rogers Center when Pujols was there with the Angels last August, when Pujols and Donaldson got into an exchange about hitting and who was the better hitter and all of that. It was hilarious. Donaldson was saying, "Hey, Albert, step up to the cage and pick up some tips as I hit here." And then Albert turned loose and said, "Well, how many years have you done it?" And then he started rattling off numbers. It was really good. They had a very friendly exchange.
Did he have his baseball card in his back pocket?
He didn't need it. It was right in his head.
Yeah, just take a look at my baseball card.
There's the sign now. It's up to date at 590 for Pujols. This is Andrelton Simmons. He had his 9-game hit streak snapped last night. Simmons finished up 0 for 3 with a walk. Popped up, grounded out, and lined out in his 3 at-bats. 1-0 Angels. Bouncing ball up the middle. That should take somebody right to the bag. It's Tulowitzki. He steps on second, throws to first for the double play. Tulowitzki and Travis were converging near the second base bag. Tulowitzki caught the ball, stepped on the bag, and completed the double play.
Much easier for a shortstop to come across the bag. All his momentum is going towards first base, and you got to have some communication out around that bag. Who's going to take it? Looked like Tulo called him off, and you can see Devin back off just at the last second. Lets Tulo take it, catches, fires over to first base to finish off the double play. That's 133 double plays now for the Blue Jays.
And the Angels have had their problems grounding into double plays. They have grounded into 140 double plays as a team. This is Jet Bandy. He caught the opener here on Thursday night. That's over our head into the upper deck. Bandy had a 4-hit game against the Blue Jays at Rogers Center back in August. He went 4 for 5 in that game. Of course, that's his career high in hits. He's a rookie. On the ground, Tulowitzki backhands, throws on the run, right on the money. Troy Tulowitzki takes charge of the inning, double play and a ground out. But the Angels jump out on top on Pujols' 590th home run. As you see, there's a new catcher into the ball game for the Angels. That is Carlos Perez, who caught in the game last night. And Jet Bandy, watch him run out of the box here, and you can see he's laboring. He felt something, and he shut it down about halfway toward the base, up the first baseline, and he has been taken out of this ball game. Obviously, we have no information about the extent of the injury, but you can see he's walking off the field very gingerly, and he is done for the night.
That's some kind of leg injury right there, and it gets worse for Mike Scioscia. You know, those are those hamstrings or quad injuries right there when you see guys busting up the line like that and then shutting it down.
The Yankees had one of their players go down today. Starlin Castro hit a double in halfway between first and second. He pulled up lame.
They also lost Jacoby Ellsbury in that game, didn't they?
He crashed into the fence out in right center, and he had to leave that game. Carlos Carrasco, the starter for the Indians, was hit facing the first batter of the ball game and broke his hand. He's done for the season. This is Devin Travis. He extended his hit streak with a base hit his first time up. 14 straight for Devin. Boy, he's really locked in. He's been great in the second half of the season, and he's done a terrific job. This is his 11th consecutive game leading off, and he has earned that right. This has popped into the seats.
He's been the Blue Jays' best hitter in the second half in terms of hits and batting average and everything, just taking the ball the other way, pulling it. He was robbed of a home run last night. You make a mistake on the other half, he can pull his hands through and hit the ball a long way to left field.
Breaking ball hammered down the left field line. Shane Robinson over to cut it off. Devin Travis is 2 for 2. Blue Jays have had 3 consecutive leadoff singles. Now they got to cash them in. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. 17 for 42. Thank you very much, Jamie. We'll keep an eye on that. And Tampa Bay giving Baltimore all they can handle. And of course, the Blue Jays know all about Tampa Bay. They're playing good right now.
I don't want to play that team. Oh, no, we don't get to play them anymore. But I would not want to play that team. They're hot right now. They've got some great pitching. They've got some good players, and they're playing loose. Just playing for next year. They're not in the pressure of a pennant race, so they're nice and loose, and they're going to create some problems for some teams here the last couple of weeks.
Josh Donaldson at the plate. Breaking ball that hit him on the elbow, and he'll go to first. Well, Donaldson is aboard yet again. He has been on base consistently in this series against the Angels. Leadoff single and a hit batter.
That's the best pitch, I guess, if you're going to get hit. That's where you want to get hit, that slow curveball. Plus, Josh had all that elbow pad on. There's the ball that he flips up there. Off-speed pitch, and watch Josh just keep the elbow right there. It's got the padding there to protect it. Just clips him.
That went Encarnacion. I guarantee you he can see better this at bat than he did in his first at bat. He struck out and had no idea where those pitches were. He just couldn't see. It was twilight when he hit. Ooh, he had another rip. They're shooting at us back here tonight. That one went right into the Angels television booth. That's on you, Gooby.
I got one right here. Gooby's got one.
Gonna have to bring a glove up here tomorrow. Cut on and missed. It's 0-2. Well, the Blue Jays, we mentioned, they've had a single to start each of their 3 innings tonight. They haven't been able to cash them in. So breaking ball called strike 3. Ricky Nolasco drops that hook on Encarnacion, and Edwin has struck out twice tonight.
A lot has changed in 40 years, but one thing hasn't. Honda, proud fan since 1977, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
See the Honda Center in your screen there, not far from the baseball stadium, Angels Stadium here in Anaheim. Great sports complex just across the freeway. We are from the Honda Center where the Anaheim Ducks play. Jose Bautista, he flied out to center field, hit the ball sharply, but Mike Trout ran it down in the alley in left center. This is a pop-up on the infield. Foul territory. The catcher gives way to the first baseman Marte. And Marte makes the catch. 2 away.
That's something that has been missing from the Blue Jays, is hitting with runners in scoring position. They get the guys on, but they just don't get them in all the time. They have had their problems.
7 for 14 in this series, and that's why they won the first 2 games.
Single hit batter, and you got your big RBI guys coming up, and right now they haven't been able to even advance their runners. But if somebody's going to come up with the big base hit, this is the guy right here. He's been doing it for about 6 weeks now for the Blue Jays.
Russell Martin had a 2-strike base hit his first time up. It's down and away.
I was talking with DeMarlo Hale, and I was asking him when we were back home at the Rogers Center, I said, how come you have Russell Martin hitting 4th or 5th in this lineup? He says, you know, if the big guys don't drive him in, have you looked at his numbers, runners in scoring position and 2 outs? He said, this is the guy that we want up there with this team. He's disciplined, he's smart, he's a good hitter, and he doesn't get phased when runners are in scoring position.
He's batting .340 in those situations, runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Any manager will take those numbers, and right now Russell Martin's got a chance with a runner at first and a runner at second.
That's what you need right there. If the big guys aren't going to hit a home run or knock them in, you want a guy who can make contact and can get those runners in with a base hit.
Give you an idea how good Russell has been in those situations. The major league average batting with runners in scoring position and 2 outs is .233. Russell's hitting .340.
Beautiful. There is 4 home runs and 27 driven in these situations right here. Sometimes guys get a little bit too excited, or they try to do too much in big situations. The good RBI guys stay within themselves and stay in the moment.
Russell has 71 ribbies. Little check swing, tapper towards second, and that's the inning. Blue Jays continue to leave base runners on. So far through 3, they've stranded 5.
It's time to log on and earn yourself some points. Tonight's code is MBJ1143. You'll earn those points simply for watching tonight's broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. You have till 4 a.m. Eastern time to enter that code, and we will have another one for you tomorrow. Guys, I can't imagine what that must have been like for Troy Buckley to watch 2 of his former players go head-to-head last night and see them both be so successful in the major leagues.
Well, you know what? That Long Beach State program is kicked out so many great ball players. Of course, you see them all the time around baseball. Jason Vargas just returned for the Kansas City Royals. He too was on that team with Tulowitzki and Weaver. Evan Longoria and Tulowitzki were teammates at Long Beach State. They've been pumping out major leaguers for years. We move to the bottom of the third. Albert Pujols has staked the Angels to a 1-0 lead. Pujols' home run to lead off the second, his 30th of the season. He and Mike Trout both now with 30 home runs. Gregorio Petit, the second baseman. He started on Thursday night in the opener. Last night it was Caleb Cowart who was the second baseman. Petit finished 1 for 4 in the opener with a single. Liriano coming off that great start against Tampa Bay, and obviously after Dickey had a very good start last night, Liriano wants to back that up again, try to put the Blue Jays in a position to win 3 in a row here in Anaheim.
Yeah, and both of them really pitching to stay in the rotation. John Gibbons was talking before the ball game that they have it mapped out for about another week, maybe even 4 or 5 days, and then they're going to decide what they want to do. Do you pitch Liriano? Do you put Dickey? You put one in the bullpen? They have those options now with all the starting pitching that they have, but they're going to take it series by series the rest of the way.
Yeah, they will just evaluate the starters and look at the matchup and see how they're going to work things out. Aaron Sanchez will return to the rotation on Wednesday, the final game of this road trip in Seattle.
And when the Jays get back from this road trip, there's an off day on Thursday. That Friday is when they're trying to decide who they want to match up with the Yankees. Do they want Liriano or do they want Dickey? That's the next time that spot in the starting rotation comes up.
That ball was bounced in front of home. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gregorio Petit leading off the bottom of the third. Now it's a full count.
Well, the biggest thing, and we were talking about it last inning, is have some quick innings, throw a lot of strikes. He did that in his last start. First pitch strikes 15 to 23. He's also had 13 swing and misses.
Well, there's a leadoff walk issued to Petit as the Angels have a 1-0 lead, and we want to welcome you folks that have been watching the hockey. Canada leading the Czech Republic 5-0 in the second intermission, and welcome to Anaheim. Albert Pujols just hit his 30th home run back in the second inning. That's the only run of the ball game. Francisco Liriano, the starter, walked Gregorio Petit, the number 8 hitter, to start the inning. Shane Robinson jabs at it in a bunt attempt and bunts it foul.
Figure they might do something like that, turn the lineup over after the leadoff walk. Mike Scioscia wants to play for another run, as he asked Shane Robinson to try and get a bunt down. It's been a tough year for Mike in the Angels. They've had a lot of injuries and a lot of problems winning ball games.
Robinson again squares to bunt it, bunts it in the air back toward the backstop, and Martin can't make a play on it. Robinson just kind of jabbed at both of those bunt attempts, and not a very good approach at the plate.
Think he'll make him do it 3 times in a row?
I wouldn't be surprised. You have a certain role to play on your ball club, and Mike Scioscia had asked Robinson to get the bunt down after the leadoff walk. Runs have been tough to come by for the Angels.
They might let him swing away after those first 2 attempts weren't very good.
He does have the green light and takes the ball downstairs. The Angels faced Liriano back on June 3rd while he was still in Pittsburgh, and they roughed him up He went 3 1/3, gave up 10 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned runs. He walked 4 over 3 1/3 and threw 76 pitches. Shane Robinson in that game had a double, or actually had 2 singles, and drove in a run against Liriano. Bouncing ball. Tulowitzki has to wait on it quickly to second, and that's all they will get. Both Tulowitzki and Devin Travis understood because it was a high bounding ball. They'd probably just get that lead runner.
Yeah, and Shane Robinson will run too well to try and turn it. That's what you like to see with young players. Know the game, that inner clock. What ball can be turned over for a double play, and what ball, hey, let's just get the lead runner. Troy Tulowitzki takes his time, and you can see Robinson, he can run. He's going to beat that out, but Tulo had to lay back on that ball to get the big hop. By then it was too late to try and turn 2.
1 out. That will turn the lineup over back to the leadoff man, Yunel Escobar. He grounded out to second his first time up. Escobar batting .310 for the season. He takes a strike. It's 1-1. Jose Altuve leads the American League in batting at .341, and Dustin Pedroia at .330 at the start of play today. Escobar is 6th in the American League at .310. There's a high strike. Escobar is always very animated, and he can tell you what he thinks of the umpire's call just by his body language.
Yeah, just look at the body language. He'll also say, no, that ball's up, that ball's high, or that ball down. You can see Liriano upset with himself that he's just not staying over that rubber very long. You see him hit his back leg, reminding him to stay over that rubber, make sure everything works together.
What they've done with Liriano is they've tried to eliminate the slide step. Say, don't worry about the base runner. I want you to make a full turn even when you're in the set position, and that'll slow his body down. Right back to the mound. Liriano throws to Tulowitzki, and it's off his glove. The timing was disrupted. Liriano took a little bit extra time when he made that throw to second, and he led Tulowitzki too far.
Well, right before he throws the pitch, he will turn back there, and he'll get the play from the infielder who's going to be covering second on a comeback, and it was Tulowitzki. Travis was backing up, but the throw's offline. Right to him, tailor-made. It should be thrown on the other side of the bag. That time it's thrown out of the Tulo's way of trying to catch it. Just he led him too much.
It's a fielder's choice and an error on the pitcher, Liriano. The Blue Jays have now committed 11 errors in their last 15 games. That too is an aspect of their play that has dropped off. Ground ball. Travis will have a chance for 2. There's 1, there's 2. And that erases the error by Liriano. No problem at all. Devin Travis completes the second double play the Blue Jays have turned tonight.
Sports Service delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for more details. A great app to have, guys, especially this time of year when you're keeping an eye on the out-of-town scoreboard.
And we are, Barry. We are certainly watching Tampa Bay in Baltimore, and they are in the bottom of the ninth. It's 5-2 Rays. Boston won earlier this afternoon at Fenway Park. They beat the Yankees 6-5. Troy Tulowitzki takes a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Tulowitzki struck out on a curveball his first time up. Nolasco has recorded 4 strikeouts to this point.
Blue Jays haven't been able to figure out that slow curveball from Nolasco. They haven't picked it up early enough so far tonight.
Hammered down the left field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. It's a foul ball. Shane Robinson gets it back in quickly, but that is a foul ball. John Gibbons, the manager of the Blue Jays, wants to look at that. It took an odd carom down in that left field corner. It's an unusual corner in that it's really not a corner. It's just kind of a rounded part of the fence where the foul pole sits. Take a look at this ball as it's down the left field line. Watch where it hits. Yeah, it hits the padding in foul territory to the left of that yellow line.
What is that, a foot? Maybe 2 feet foul? Or that's extra bases for the Blue Jays, but it's clearly foul.
Well, you got to believe Nolasco is going to come back with something soft after Tulowitzki was on that heater.
He's been doing it all night. He's been really using that really slow curveball. He's also got a splitter that he will occasionally use, a slider, and of course his fastball. It's about 92.
High fly ball deep to center field. Trout is back at the wall. He jumps and makes the catch. Troy Tulowitzki gave it a ride all the way to the wall in the deepest part of this ballpark, but Mike Trout is there to run it down.
Well, we highlighted him on the defensive end because he's just an outstanding outfielder. He's averaged the most putouts per 9 innings in the American League for a center fielder. He gets back to the wall, times his leap perfectly. That ball looked like it had a chance of going out, if not hitting off the top of the wall for extra bases. We have seen Mike Trout do this plenty of times in his young career.
Right up against the fence in center. Tulowitzki's retired. Michael Saunders drew a walk his first time up. One to nothing Angels.
Told you that Nolasco's been throwing the ball a lot better since he came over to the Angels at the beginning of August. And it's not like this guy's chopped liver or anything like this. It's just 10th year in the big leagues, and he's done some things in the big leagues. You know, he struck out one time 9 consecutive batters in a game. He did that when he was with the Florida Marlins a few years ago.
Nolasco is 33 years old. He was traded from his original team, the Chicago Cubs, to the Florida Marlins at the time for a speedster named Juan Pierre. And Nolasco, of course, signed a nice contract with the Twins. That didn't work out. And the Angels were able to pick him up along with Alex Meyer, who will start tomorrow for the Angels.
Spent a little time with the Dodgers. In fact, in 2013 helped them get into the playoffs.
Nolasco's done something unusual this season with the Angels. On August 31st against Cincinnati, he retired the final 12 to complete that outing. Ground ball pulled foul. Then in his next start against the A's in Oakland, he retired the first 60. So he basically had a perfect game between his 2 starts.
They were 5 days apart. That's the only problem, right?
28 up, 28 down.
Pretty impressive.
Finish the game and the next to start it.
Yeah, like I said, he's done some things in this game.
Foul ball just outside the bag at first. Well, we had mentioned throughout this series how the Angels have really been plagued by injuries, especially to their starting staff. They've lost 5 starting pitchers to season-ending injuries. And that's why they've had to be creative, go out and add pitchers to their organization just to get some healthy bodies in here.
How many came from other organizations? 8?
I think 9. 9 weren't in the organization at the start of spring training. 9 of the 16 that are currently on the Angels roster who were elsewhere at the beginning of spring training. Another 3-2 pitch to Saunders. Pulled on the ground. That's a fair ball. Marte will go to the bag. 2 away.
It's third game and third different position for Jeffrey Marte. We've seen him at third base. We've seen him in left field. Now at first base.
That's a baseball haircut if I've ever seen one. Red, white, and blue. Little baseball on the side.
I wonder if he had that done here at the ballpark.
Oh, I doubt it. It'd take much too long to do that. That's pretty cool. 2 outs for Justin Smoke. Changeup misses down. That might have been the splitter. Had late movement away from Smoke. The game in Baltimore has gone final. Tampa Bay beats the Orioles 5-2.
Chance for the Blue Jays pick up a game on the Orioles. You know, that's the beauty about playing out here on the West Coast. Everything gets done, and you know, a lot of times even before you start the ball game, what the teams have done, and maybe you can pick up a game on certain clubs.
Outside, so the Orioles are now 3 back of the Boston Red Sox. They are a half a game behind the Blue Jays in third place, and the Blue Jays win. Blue Jays will be 2 back of Boston and 1 game ahead of the Orioles.
Yeah, and controlling their own destiny still about getting into the playoffs. They'd be a game ahead of Baltimore.
Smoke takes ball 4. 2-out walk. Second walk issued by Nolasco in this game. Let's take a look at the East standings. Boston beat New York 6-5. Tampa Bay beat the Orioles 5-2. So that's where we are as we speak. Boston 20 games over 500, 2.5 ahead of the Blue Jays, 3 games ahead of the Orioles, and the Yankees slipped to 7 back.
Tigers lost also. Tigers were right on the tail of the Blue Jays for that wild card. They lost again today 1-0.
1-0 in 10 innings. The Tigers slipped to 78 and 70. The Yankees, boy, they really had the wind taken out of their sails when Hanley Ramirez hit that home run, the walk-off 3-run home run in the opener of their series.
I agree. I mean, that was a win for the Yankees. They were going to pick up a game on the Red Sox, and then that was taken away from them. They've now lost 4 in a row.
And the effect for the Red Sox, of course, and Mookie Betts said it was his best baseball moment of his young career. He said, I've never been to the playoffs. I've never been in anything like this. And Hanley Ramirez home run was my best memory to date of baseball.
Well, let's just keep it that way, right? Blue Jays are going to end the season there. Let's don't one-up that.
Yeah, that can be the highlight of his season. Center fielder Kevin Pillar with a 1-1 count. He didn't want to, but he chased that breaking ball. There's another slow curveball.
They're just not having a lot of success picking up that curveball, laying off of it, or picking up the spin on it so far.
That's going to drop into the seats down the right side, out of play. Kevin Pillar was 0 for 3 last night with a walk. He had a double in 4 at-bats Friday night. He is a Southern California native who grew up in the San Fernando Valley, about 60 miles from here. It's quite a hike up to the valley.
He's got his family here. He was telling us yesterday. He actually went home, didn't he, when Blue Jays landed here a couple of days ago?
Yeah, when they landed on Wednesday night, he was closer to his home from LAX than he was the team hotel. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, strike 3. Another slow hook. Ricky Nolasco has baffled the Blue Jays through 4 innings. He struck out 5.
Two of Europe's strongest hockey powers face off on a Sunday afternoon game. It's Sweden, Russia tomorrow on Sportsnet as the World Cup of Hockey continues. 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. And guys, great start so far for Team Canada. They're up 5-0 in the third period against the Czech Republic.
That's great news, and obviously the World Cup in its inaugural tournament. A great concept, and going to be some great hockey throughout this tournament. Make sure you check it out. Of course, it's all taking place in Toronto. Mike Trout leading off an inning. That's beautiful sound for the Blue Jays. Last time up, he hit with 2 outs and nobody on. Now he's leading off.
That's the best time to face Mike Trout. He's such a dynamic player. Power and speed. I mean, he has done stuff in this game already before his 25th birthday. I mean, you want to talk about Albert Pujols and some of the greats. Mike Trout is right there.
Mike Trout has 27 home runs this season. It's the 5th consecutive season with 25 or more home runs. It's the 3rd player all time with 5 25-plus home run seasons before the age 25. Here he has a leadoff single.
So you keep him in the ballpark. He doesn't hit a home run or he doesn't hit a double, but he's got that great speed. He's always a threat to steal. Tough to run, though, in front of Albert Pujols.
I was going to ask you that. Give me your opinion about the percentages of running with Pujols batting.
I would let him swing, but Mike Trout is so good at stealing bases. He's only been thrown out 5 times all year.
25 steals, caught 5 times. The Angels have a 1-0 lead. Pujols taps it foul. Remember, the Blue Jays have talked to Liriano about not concerning himself with the base runners at first. They don't want him to use that slide step. He has a tendency to rush his body when he slide steps and loses the effectiveness on his pitches.
And that ball shoots up and away, so they're trying to get him to get that full turn and concentrate on making a good pitch.
Ground ball. Tulowitzki's got time if they can get the lead runner, and they do. Good play by Tulowitzki going into the hole. You know, Pujols doesn't run much at all anymore, and they were able to turn the third double play in this ball game.
You know, we mentioned they've hit into a ton of double plays. They lead the major leagues in double plays. 139 coming into this game, 3 more in 4 innings. That was a pretty play. As soon as Tulo was positioned perfectly and catches the ball, it's over with. Strong throw to Travis, and he doesn't have to worry about being taken out at second base. He can make the throw easily.
And Devin Chew took his time. He knew that Pujols was laboring to get to first. So that changes the complexion of this inning. Trout with the leadoff single, erased on the double play ball.
Maybe that's why you start the runner. When a guy who can run that fast, you stay out of the double play.
Liriano still a very good ratio of strikes to balls so far tonight. He's thrown 2 strikes for every ball he's thrown to this point. And he does that, he's not going to get hit around much.
Oh, you can use that changeup right here to Marte. It don't look like he's picking that off-speed pitch up.
Ground ball bounced over the pitcher's glove. Quickly, Travis fires in time to retire Marte. Blue Jays get their 3rd double play of the ball game, and they trail 1-0. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Non-stop on WestJet. Doesn't that sound like a good time? You know it does. And for low WestJet fares on daily flights, you can now book your getaway today at WestJet.com or call your travel agent. Now we'll get you back to Buck and Pat.
Thank you, Barry. Beautiful shot of Angel Stadium here in Anaheim. And a gorgeous evening. And it couldn't be nicer. It's 24 degrees and not a breath of wind, no humidity. It's been spectacular all weekend. Well, the Blue Jays got to get something going. They've stranded 6 so far in this game. Devin Travis batting for a 3rd time. He's already 2 for 2 tonight.
Got to figure out Ricky Nolasco right here.
This is popped into the seats. Devin Travis singled in his first at bat for a 2nd straight night, coming up with a single in the 1st inning. He is now 17 for 42. Hitting in the 1st inning. That's a .405 average. That's a pretty good clip for your leadoff man.
That's a pretty good leadoff hitter altogether. Look at those numbers in the 14-game hit streak. It's the 3rd time through now for the Blue Jays against Ricky Nolasco. That on base plus slugging jumps to .862 3rd time through against him.
That ball is driven deep to right. Cole Calhoun on the run. He's going to watch this one bang off the wall. Devin Travis is headed for second. He gets in there with a slide. Have a night, Devin Travis. 3 for 3 with a double. That's his 25th double of the season. He's hitting them all over the yard, down the left field line, off the wall and right.
He's got some power too. Another extra base hit. Watch how he gets behind this ball and drives it. That's an inside-out swing, and he's got power to bang it off the wall. Cole Calhoun's got 9 outfield assists and aggressively gets that ball in. With Devin Travis with a good start here in the 5th inning for the Blue Jays, hustles his way to second base.
3 for 3. Good start to his night.
That hasn't been a problem for the Blue Jays, getting that first runner on.
Every inning but the 4th. They've had base hits in 4 of the 5 innings tonight to start the innings. Josh Donaldson has flied out and been hit by a pitch. Blue Jays trail 1-0. Donaldson has hit in 9 straight games against the Angels. Again, the Angels very aggressive on the pickoffs. They have picked off 23 base runners this season.
You know, they're not afraid to throw behind the runners like that or try and pick off at second base. How many teams have you played on where you go through spring training and you work on that all the time, you work off on those certain pickoffs, then you never use them in the regular season?
Never practice them again.
Yeah, but they have always used those pickoffs. Mike Scioscia teams do the little things.
Well, Mike Scioscia came through the Dodgers system, and the Dodgers always emphasized fundamentals. He was a great Dodger player during his playing days, and he had some terrific coaches. Walter Alston, Tommy Lasorda, of course, managers of the Dodgers. And Mike Scioscia had Del Crandall as one of his coaching instructors early on. Devin Travis is trying to go to third, and he's going to be thrown out. Devin Travis had that ball in front of him. It wasn't that sharply hit, but Andrelton Simmons has a strong arm, and John Gibbons is trying to get the umpire's attention. They're going to hold up and see the play at third base on their video review.
Well, you're down by 1 run, and any ball hit to your right, you have to make the ball get through. I don't know if they're going to be able to overturn this one. As you see third baseman get over there, and there's the tag right there. We'll see. They're still going to take a look at it, but as a base runner, you're down by a run. You got to be absolutely sure you can make it to third base. You don't want to make the first or third out over there,
especially where you are in the lineup.
Yeah,
that's the #1 thing. You get a leadoff double. Donaldson's hitting, and you have to make sure you're going to be safe 100%. Because Devin was in scoring position. If Donaldson grounds out, the next batter is Edwin Encarnacion, who leads the world in RBIs.
And you don't want to be running into outs. The rule of thumb is when you take your secondary lead, any ball hit to your right, you should be able to make the ball go through. I think that's what Luis Rivera is telling him right here. Anything to your left or slowly hit where the third baseman has to come in, then you're going to be able to move up. That was a quick decision right there by the umpires.
The replay review is powered by Samsung, and the replay review upholds the call on the field. Travis is out, advancing to third on the fielder's choice. So now the Blue Jays lose a base runner from scoring position. Edwin Encarnacion has struck out both times he's come to the plate tonight. No breaking ball pulled foul.
He's doing a good job of changing speeds with his pitches, isn't he? Slow curveball, and then he throws the fastball in there. Then a splitter. Then a good fastball. Then a slow curveball again. And the timing for the Blue Jay hitters have been really messed up.
Yeah, he hasn't thrown 2 pitches back to back, same velocity, same speed, same spin. He's just mixed it up very effectively. Down and away. 2 balls and a strike to Encarnacion. Blue Jays have out-hit the Angels 4-3, but Albert Pujols hit a solo home run to give the Angels the only run of this game. That home run came in the second. It just is so inviting when you see it heading toward the plate, and you just can't wait long enough.
Yeah, you have to tell yourself, wait. Blue Jays had to do that last night against Jared Weaver. Talking to some of the players before the game yesterday, they said the main thing is we have to wait and see the ball before you start your swing. Same thing tonight with Ricky and Nolasco and that slow curveball.
Edwin strikes out for a 3rd time. We've had 6 strikeouts, and Nolasco, half of those strikeouts have come against Encarnacion.
He's had success against him in the past. 5 for 15. There's the splitter right there. Another extra pitch with a home run and 3 RBIs coming into this game. In those 15 at-bats, he'd only struck out 2 times. Tonight, he's not picking up the pitches.
6 strikeouts for Nolasco. Now there are 2 outs. Jose Bautista makes the first pitch strike. Like it might have been off the plate away, and he is expressing his thoughts to Manny Gonzalez, the home plate umpire. No curveball. Donaldson has 6 stolen bases. He's been caught just 1 time, but just don't know how good he feels about running with that hip that's been bothering him. 0-2. Not running. And he can't advance on the ball in the dirt. Blue Jays trail 1-0. We are in the 5th inning. Ricky Nolasco has baffled the Blue Jays to this point. They have stranded 6 base runners.
His last 3 starts, he's allowed just 2 earned runs while he is in the game. So he has turned his season around, and he's doing the same thing here tonight against the Jays.
Bautista gets a piece of that to stay alive. That looked like another splitter. Alfredo Griffin, a longtime shortstop for the Blue Jays, has been here with the Angels for 17 years as well. Now he is on the bench. He was the longtime first base coach for the Angels.
You know, there are certain guys that
foul tip, strike 3. Carlos Perez talked the umpire into that one. Bautista pulled his bat back and evidently hit the bat, and Perez asked the umpire about it, and he rings up Bautista. Blue Jays have stranded 7. Nolasco has 7 strikeouts through 5 innings. Pitch up and in, just barely goes off the bat, and Perez catches it for the 3rd strike. Kansas. Canada has jumped out to a big lead in their initial game in the tournament, the World Cup of Hockey. Liriano delivers a first pitch strike to Andrelton Simmons. For the 5th inning, it's a 1-0 game. Simmons had a 9-game hit streak come to an end last night. He hit into a double play in the 2nd.
See, he's got that batting average up over 285 coming into this ball game now. Coming into the season when he was with Atlanta, he was a career 260 hitter. Right, he's got that thing up about 25 points.
Bouncing ball foul outside of 3rd. Simmons is now 27 years old.
He says he's looking for particular pitches now, shrinking the strike zone. Instead of just swinging at strikes, he's swinging at certain pitches. So that's what veterans will do. They'll have an idea of what they want to hit off of a guy, and they'll go up there looking for it. If it's a slider, go up there and look for it.
Well, he has the benefit this season of being on the same team as Albert Pujols. And there aren't many hitters that understand hitting as well as Pujols. I'll think about Manny Ramirez and Paul Molitor, guys that were really cerebral about their trade. Manny Ramirez was a baseball savant in that regard as far as understanding what to look for at the plate. Everybody thought, oh, it's just Manny being Manny, but there was a lot more to Manny than people know.
Yeah, they all thought like he was, you know, a guy that was goofy, do goofy things, but he was very smart as a hitter.
And Simmons takes a leadoff walk. That's the 2nd walk issued by Liriano so far.
The all-new 2017 Ridgeline, our newest vehicle and their newest fan. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
That is the Honda Center across the freeway from Angels Stadium. That's where the Anaheim Ducks play their hockey. This is Carlos Perez. He came into the game defensively in the top of the 3rd after the starting catcher injured himself. That's punted foul by Perez. Jet Bandy was batting in the 2nd inning with 2 outs, hit a ground ball, was running up the first baseline and suffered an injury. We have not been given any information about the extent of the injury. But as they say in hockey, I would assume it's a lower body injury.
Lower leg injury. So it's next man up, and Mike Scioscia is tired of seeing his team hit into double plays. He had Carlos Perez trying to sacrifice.
And then he wails away and falls behind 0-2. Perez is a free swinger. He started the game last night, went 2. Actually, he hit 0 for 3 with a walk. He didn't have a hit in that game last night.
Boy, Simmons bluffed like he was going to go on Liriano. That might draw a throw over the first base now, or maybe even get a fastball for Perez. Watch the bluff. Goes on first movement and stops. Liriano looked over there. You can see him right after he made that pitch. He looked over there.
That gets through. Martin goes all the way back to the backstop. He can't see it. Simmons is headed for 3rd, and he's going to get there without a throw. Andrelton Simmons running with his head up. Once the ball got through, Russell Martin went back to the backstop and just kind of died back behind home plate, and Simmons just kept running around 2nd and goes all the way to 3rd.
Yeah, and Russell just couldn't find the ball initially. That's where you got to get some help from your infielder or the bench. Watch this. It looked like a slider in the dirt. It stays down right through his wickets. Now watch him. He can't see it. He thinks it's right in front of him, but he blocks it. But Simmons alertly takes a quick glance to see where Russell Martin is, and the ball is still in the backstop, and he can go first to third on a wild pitch. I think the infield's got to come in now.
Absolutely, they have to come in. Nobody out, bottom of the order. You don't want to give them a easy run. Ground ball. Donaldson will chase Simmons back to third, and Perez is thrown out.
Boy, that came one pitch too late, didn't it? That's a double play grounder for the Blue Jays. Heads up play by Josh Donaldson as he's going to chase Simmons back. He hits the dirt and now over to first base to record the out.
Well, I would be heads up if I were the Blue Jays right now with the possibility of a bunt here in this situation. Gregorio Petit, the second baseman. Simmons, a good base runner at third. The infield's still playing in.
Yeah, maybe not the suicide squeeze, but it could be the safety squeeze.
No sign of bunt there. It might be challenging for the Angels to put on any kind of squeeze because Liriano is inconsistent in throwing strikes.
That's why the safety squeeze might work a little bit better. Safety squeeze, the difference between that and the suicide squeeze is the runner waits till the ball is down.
There's the bunt, and that was the case there. Simmons had not made his break from third until the ball was bunted.
Yeah, the suicide squeeze, he's taken off as soon as that pitcher gets ready to throw the ball. The safety squeeze, he's waiting until he sees the ball down by the batter, and then he takes off. Watch him. See, a suicide squeeze, he's taken off. That's the safety squeeze. Ball's down, and now he goes. But it's fouled off.
That's the squeeze right there, and that's a foul ball. That time Simmons was breaking as Liriano unloaded.
That's the suicide squeeze right there. Look at the difference. Watch him take off as soon as Liriano throws it. And I could hear somebody from the bench yell, "Squeeze." So what you want to do if you can to your pitcher, you want to throw a fastball up and in. And it's fouled off by Petit.
Well, now Liriano has got the possibility of a strikeout here with Simmons at third, but if he throws that slider, Russ is going to have to block it. Remember, it was the slider that got away from Martin that led to the wild pitch. And there's a big strikeout. He went right back to the slider and gets the strikeout.
You can see why Mike Scioscia was trying to squeeze that run in because they've just had so much trouble scoring runs. Over their last 10 games that they have lost 9, they've only scored 16 runs. Changeup from Liriano out of the strike zone, and it completely fools the batter, Petit, as he swings over the top of it.
First pitch strike to Shane Robinson. When Liriano throws that changeup, it'll be 87 miles an hour. It's almost like it's more like a screwball than it is a changeup. It doesn't have that much of a difference in velocity, but man, does it move.
That was the effectiveness in his last start. Russell was telling you and I before, he said he was getting ahead with 4-seam fastballs, and then he can make the ball go one way, his slider, and he can make the ball go the other way with his changeup.
Ball on a strike. That's a base hit. Simmons comes in to score. Bautista gets on it quickly, throws behind the runner, but Shane Robinson has driven home the second Angel run of the night. It's 2-0. Simmons, with a good piece of base running, goes first to third on the wild pitch, and Shane Robinson cashes him in with a 2-out single.
I think that's their second hit with runners in scoring position in this series, and it comes at a great time. 2 outs and a runner at third base. They had the bases loaded last night, nobody out, and couldn't score. And this would have been tough. Runner at third base, nobody out, but Shane Robinson's going to pick on that high fastball and just keep it fair down the right field line. Back to the top of the order.
At first, there'll be a toss to first base. Robinson, limited action. He's been on disabled list a couple different times. He has 2 stolen bases. Escobar foul tips it off the catcher's mitt.
He is an aggressive swinger. We got a chance to watch him for a couple of years when he was with the Blue Jays, and he's very aggressive, especially early in the count.
Escobar came to the Blue Jays in 2010. He played the entire 11 and 12 seasons as a Jay. Then he was traded down to Miami in that big blockbuster deal. He grounds this one foul.
Shane Robinson, you mentioned, Buck, has got a couple of stolen bases. This might be a good time to run. 0-2 on the leadoff batter. He's got a little speed.
There he goes, and Liriano guessed right. There's nobody at second, and Smoke had the double clutch. Smoke came off the bag to clear a throwing lane to second, but he had the double pump as Tulowitzki was late getting to second. Liriano guessed right.
Yeah, the Blue Jays, I don't know if that came from the bench, but he throws over there, and Shane Robinson takes off, but Smokey's got nowhere to throw. He has to double pump, and by that time, Robinson's going to be there. You can see Tulo trying to get there, but to no avail.
Tulowitzki was playing Escobar to pull. He had a long way to get there. The only way that works is if Smoke just throws it to Tulowitzki before he gets to second.
He's hitting a moving target then. That's a tough throw to make.
Stolen base number 3 for Robinson. Escobar called out on strikes and drops his bat, complaining to Manny Gonzalez, and now he throws his helmet, and Gonzalez made note of that, so that will be a fine for Escobar. And if he says much more, he's allowed to be out of this game. So the Angels score another run in the bottom of the 5th. It's 2-0. Russell Martin will start things off in the 6th. Then Troy Tulowitzki and Michael Saunders.
Team celebrate with your personal cheer for Blue Jays at RogersCelebrates.com.
Well, a lot of Blue Jay fans here celebrating. It's been a great weekend so far. Blue Jays won the first 2 games. They trail here, and Russell Martin waits back on that breaking ball. Russell has handled that breaking ball very well tonight. He is 2 for 3. So far in this game. Another leadoff hit for the Blue Jays. They can ill afford to waste these leadoff base hits.
They're getting to him early on. There's Russell waiting back on that curveball. He's got 2 on his mind again, but then breaks it down. Every inning but the 4th inning, they've had that leadoff runner on base.
With a hit. They now have 5 hits. But they haven't had 2 hits in an inning. Troy Tulowitzki. Tulo is 0 for 2. Tulo came into this game 6 for 19 against Ricky Nolasco. He has hit a home run. Tulowitzki hit a long home run here last night in the 4th inning.
Hit a long ball to center field his last time up. Looked like it might have been a home run, but Mike Trout robbed him of a hit.
Tulo just missed an extra base hit down the left field line in that last at bat. He hit one just barely foul up against the wall down the left field line. Then later on in that same at bat, he hit one all the way to the fence in center. Off speed pitch, tap foul.
Right, he's going to pick out one of those slow curveballs, I think, one of these times and hit it hard. Been throwing him a lot of those things.
Jose Alvarez, the left-hander, loosening up for the Angels. Another slow breaking ball. Nolasco is getting near the end of the line. He has thrown 95 pitches. Most everyone in baseball has fallen in line with the 100 pitch plateau.
And normally that's about the 6th inning when you start getting to that 100 pitches. So you go into the ball game saying, you know what, I'm going to need at least 3 relievers to finish out the ball game.
Or 6.
I've seen that a few times, haven't we, in September?
Tulowitzki hits it on the ground to short. Simmons to second for 1. The return throw in plenty of time. Tulowitzki bounces into the 6-4-3 double play, so that leadoff base runner erased once again.
Save during the plumbing, heating, and electrical expert sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Two outs for Michael Saunders. Michael has walked and grounded out. The Jays just haven't been able to string things together tonight. Ricky Nolasco has been a tough customer.
Yeah, he's given up his share of hits, just haven't been able to break through. Probably going to be his last inning. So the Blue Jays are going to do it. They're going to have to do it against the bullpen of the Angels. That's part of the game plan. And they've been successful the first 2 games in this series against their bullpen.
Well, now there are 2 Angel relievers warming up. The left-hander we showed you, Jose Alvarez. Now Jose Valdez has joined. Lefty-righty for Mike Scioscia's Angels, loosening up in their bullpen. 2-0 Angels. Blue Jays had 10 hits in each of the first 2 games here in Anaheim. So far tonight, just half that number, 5. Slow breaking ball, and Saunders got a piece of it. The only extra base hit the Blue Jays have gotten tonight is a double by Devin Travis in the 5th. And he made a base running mistake, got thrown out trying to advance to third base, making the first out of the inning at third base.
Yeah, that was a leadoff double, and they just couldn't move him up.
Popped up down the left field line. Escobar giving chase. Third baseman in foul territory makes the catch, and the inning is over. Ricky Nolasco. 6 innings of shutout ball, and the Angels have a 2-0 lead. Went 6 innings on no runs on 3 hits, and Paxton has pitched 7 innings. He has 7 strikeouts, but he's given up those 2 runs. Yulieski Gurriel, the Cuban that they signed in Houston, has 12 RBIs now and very limited at bats.
Thought I saw Paxton was perfect through 5, so they must have got to him just recently.
Francisco Liriano back out to start the bottom of the 6th. Well, Calhoun takes one outside. It'll be Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols for the Angels. Calhoun has struck out and hit into a double play. His inability to reach base has allowed the Blue Jays to pitch to Mike Trout with nobody on.
That's just how you want to pitch to that guy. Nobody on. Make him do it himself.
There's a little looper, and Calhoun's going to reach a leadoff base hit for Calhoun, and Trout will come to the plate indeed with somebody aboard. Calhoun's first hit of the night. He is now 2 for 11 in the series. So the hits are even at 5 apiece.
Big discrepancy in this game is runners left on base. Blue Jays have left 7 already through 6 innings. The Angels have left 2. Got to keep grinding though.
Here is Mike Trout. 1 for 2. First pitch strike. You know, we talked about Pujols and how much of a cerebral hitter he is. Mike Trout's just the opposite. He's a natural hitter that just figures out a way to get the barrel to the baseball.
And if
doesn't want to think too much about it.
And if things don't work, they'll have some suggestions.
Smoke knocks it down, and Trout's going to get to first. Smoke trying to make a play on the short hop, got a piece of it, but then he couldn't recover in time to retire Trout.
You know what he was trying to do right there? He was trying to make a play on that ball so he can go to second base and get that lead runner and keep that double play in order. But as he went after that ball just a little bit too quick, glanced off of his glove, and then he couldn't get even Mike Trout at first base. Watch him jump off after he's holding the runner, aggressively comes after it with the thought of getting that lead runner. But he can't get anybody as the ball stays down.
Second error committed by the Blue Jays tonight. Albert Pujols jumps back from an inside fastball. The Blue Jays have now committed 80 errors this season, and their defense has been somewhat shaky lately.
Yeah, they had an error as that ball's up and in, what, in 7 straight games at one point over the last 10 days or so?
They've committed 12 errors in their last 15 games after being really tight defensively.
Yeah, for the longest time they were first or second in the American League in fielding percentage, and they've dropped down now. Giving those teams extra outs in innings, never a good idea.
Pujols drives it deep to right. Bautista's back, makes the catch. Calhoun tags at second. He moves to third base. Pujols is retired on the long fly ball to right. So Pujols is 1 for 3. That home run he hit in the second. First run of the ball game. So now the Blue Jays need another double play.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask. The last time the Angels scored a run, it was because of some defensive problems that the Blue Jays had. A wild pitch moved a runner from first to third, and he would score on a 2-out hit. Now the error, they've got runners at first and third and just 1 out.
There goes the runner. It's fouled back, and Blue Jays got a break. Marte fouled back the pitch. Trout had a running start over at first. There's Ryan Tepera, the first up for the Blue Jays tonight.
Boy, he had that base stolen. I think a player with a little bit more experience might have taken that pitch and letting Mike Trout get into scoring position for him. He's taken off because they've hit into how many double plays tonight? 3?
3. Blue Jays have turned 4 double plays in a game twice this season. They turned 4 at home against Houston on May 29th and 4 against Oakland on August 3rd. The game against Houston was 13 innings. The Oakland game, a 9-inning game in which they converted 4 double plays. They've turned 3 in this game so far. Mike Trout has been caught just 5 times this season. Calhoun at third has good speed as well. There goes Trout. Ball's hit up the middle. Travis will have to go to first, and the run comes in to score. By starting the runner, the Angels stayed out of the double play. Marte picks up the RBI. It's 3-0 Angels.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it looked like it was going to work out for the Blue Jays. That ball was going right to second base, and it looked like Devin Travis and the Jays had a chance of maybe catching it, stepping on the bag, and finishing off the double play, but it was just a little bit too far from the bag. And with Mike Trout's great speed, Devin Travis did the right thing and got the sure out over first base.
Well, the ball took him beyond the bag, and he was trying to slow his momentum down so he could catch it and step on the bag at the same time, but he did the right thing. It's 3-0 Angels, and there goes Trout to third. Martin's throw is a good one, and Trout is safe. Mike Trout used that swim move, and he took his left hand out of the way of the tag by Donaldson. And DeMarlo Hale checking with the video room.
What a great throw by Russell Martin. I mean, it was right on target at third base, right at the bag. But it was Mike Trout's nifty slide that momentarily has him at third base. That looks like he's safe.
No, he hasn't touched the base.
He's not on the base
He
there.
never got to the base. You watch where he is. Does he touch the base here? Yes, he does.
That's what I saw, but it looks like he came off of it. No.
Well, it
stays on it.
It's not a factor now as Russell Martin, boy, he did a terrific job to save a run on that pitch. And he might have got that one in the throat or somewhere up around his collarbone. You can see him feeling the impact of that ball in dirt. Hit him on the left collarbone. Simmons fouls it out of play. It's now 1-2. The Angels have scored a run here in the 6th to expand their lead. It's 3-0. That's a base hit into center. Trout comes in to score. Simmons drives in another run. He didn't hit it hard. He may have gotten jammed, but he got enough of it to get it into center field for an RBI single with 2 outs.
Since July the 1st, Andrelton Simmons hit .328. That's the 4th best among Major League shortstops. And by starting that runner once again has prolonged this inning for the Angels. Trout got to second base. It wasn't a double play. He stole third, and now he can trot home with the 4th run as Simmons plates him with that single to center.
4-0 Angels. There goes Simmons. He got a running start, and Russell Martin can't make a throw. Second stolen base of the inning, and Simmons didn't waste any time. He took off on the first move. That's his 8th stolen base.
No throw over to first base and no throw down to second base. And they picked something up on Liriano.
Says Carlos Perez, and in case you're just joining us, Perez did not start the game. Jet Bandy started the game, and in the 2nd inning with 2 outs, he hit a ground ball to the shortstop. While running toward first, he injured himself and left the game. Now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Angels catcher. There's a swing and a miss, and that ends the inning. But the Angels scored 2 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll go to the 7th. The Blue Jays are down by 4. New pitcher into the ball game, Jose Alvarez. line for his first win against the Toronto Blue Jays. 6 strong innings. He scatters 5 hits over those 6 innings. And all of those 5 hits have come in the first batter of an inning. And the Blue Jays just couldn't do anything with it. So he turns things over to the bullpen. First on for the Angels will be the lefty, Jose Alvarez.
7 big strikeouts for Nolasco, and he will take over. It'll be taken over by Jose Alvarez. 60th game this season for Alvarez. He was the Tigers minor league pitcher of the year in 2013. Then he had some injuries. He was brought over here in the Andrew Romine trade in 2014. Fastball, decent little 2-seam sinker. He's got a slurvy curveball, an average changeup. This is the first time that the Blue Jays have seen him in this series.
He's 27 years old now, and he's certainly a different look than Nolasco. Nolasco really shut down the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have 5 hits, 3 of those by Devin Travis. He's 3 for 3. Justin Smoke will turn around and bat right-handed for the first time tonight. Smoke, starting at first base, is 0 for 1 with a walk. 4-0 Angels. The Angels have been strapped to score runs. Came into this game having scored 16 runs in their last 10 games.
And they lost 9 of those games. Shut out last night by the Blue Jays 5-0.
Boston won earlier today. Baltimore lost tonight in Baltimore. In the wild card picture, the Tigers lost in extra innings to Cleveland 1-0. And Seattle currently trails Houston 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th in Seattle.
Time to go to work if you're John Gibbons in the Blue Jays. They got to start punching some runs across here.
Well, fouls it back. It's a full count to the leadoff man. Well, Blue Jays just haven't been able to take advantage of the leadoff batter reaching tonight. They've had the leadoff man aboard in all but 1 inning.
They've got a couple of runners to second base, and that's been it. Russell Martin singled and stole second in the 2nd inning. He was stranded there. And then you were talking about the double by Devin Travis, and he was thrown out at 3rd.
Both hits run right back in our direction, and they've been shooting at us all night. Another full count pitch to Justin Smoke. The Blue Jays are batting in the 7th. They need to get something going. They have stranded 7 base runners. Bouncing ball up the middle. Petit at second, throws to first, 1 away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Well, Mike Trout made that young fan a very happy fan here before the start of this game. Gripped him a ball right before the first pitch, and he has got a fan for life. 1 out, Kevin Pillar. Mighty swing.
What would you have done if Willie Mays flipped you a ball when you were that age?
I wouldn't have been able to talk.
No, isn't that something? And it never changes.
No. And you know what? I don't know that all of the ball players really understand the impact they have on these young fans.
I think Mike Trout does. From everything I have heard, Mike Trout understands who he is and what he means to the fans.
This is 5 minutes before the first pitch, and Mike Trout is down there. Look at all those kids. I mean, he's not much older than a lot of those kids. He's just 25 years old, just turned 25, but look at how quickly he's signing as many autographs as possible. I mean, this is literally 5 minutes before the first pitch, and he's as accommodating as you can find.
And that's every day. Every day he's like that. And how do you say no to those kids? And how do you sign them? And then it's hard to walk away from them. but got to play a game.
Devin hits it over the second baseman's head into right center for a base hit, a 1-out base hit. So Pilar's aboard with 1 out. Now turn the lineup over to the red hot Devin Travis.
Blue Jays have had a hit in every inning, but the fourth they've had a base runner in every inning. Devin already 3 for 3, trying to go 4 for 4.
Devin has had 1 4-hit game already this season. Takes the first pitch, strike. That 4-hit game came at Rogers Center on the 8th of August against Tampa Bay. He had 3 singles and a triple in his 4-hit effort. Lays off that outside pitch. It's a ball and a strike.
Blue Jays have 6 hits now in the 7th inning, and they haven't had hits back to back all night long. In fact, they haven't. The only time they've had a base runner back to back was in the 3rd inning, a Travis single and then a Josh Donaldson hit by pitch. So it's about stringing the hits together and base runners back to back to back.
Devin's had a good series here in Anaheim. Devin had a 2-run single in the 9th inning on Thursday night to extend his hit streak. There goes Pilar. He got a terrific jump. Quick throw by Perez, not in time. Blue Jays get an extra 90 feet for Pilar. That's his 12th steal of the season.
Been thrown out 5 times. You say, well, you're down by 4 runs. You can't wait back. I think you have to be aggressive. If you see something in that pitcher or something in that catcher that allows you to steal a base, go ahead and do it. Pilar steals it. And now the Blue Jays have to score a run here.
Now the Jays are 0 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position. And they've stranded 7. There's a little looper to the left, but that's going to hang up for Shane Robinson. Travis is retired. That's the 2nd out of the inning. Here comes Mike Scioscia. So he is on his way to the mound. Josh Donaldson is the batter. So Alvarez works 2/3 of an inning, gives up a base hit to Pilar. He will give way to the bullpen. Jose Valdez will come on with 2 outs to face Josh Donaldson. this series. You look at the numbers, including Jose Alvarez, 7 2/3. The bullpen has allowed 10 hits and 7 earned runs. So if you think this game is over, you are sadly mistaken.
They've used 11 relievers in these 3 games so far. You can see that the Blue Jays have torched him up. Jose Valdez was one of those pitchers that we saw here earlier in this series. We've seen Mike Scioscia do this when you get to this part of the batting order for the Blue Jays. They want a little bit more power in that right arm. Valdez has a good arm. He can strike batters out, but he can also get very wild.
Valdez gave up the 3-run home run to Russell Martin Thursday night in that Blue Jays win. That was in the 6th inning. Donaldson is 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning. Kevin Pillar's at second base. Well, they had a pickoff play on behind Pillar on that first pitch. Perez, the catcher, was all set to make a throw, but Donaldson fouled off the pitch. You can see Gregorio Petit returning to his position at second. He was breaking on the pitch. Watch the second baseman.
He's standing right behind the bag to begin with, and here comes Perez coming out of the chute. Perez got Darwin Barney last night at second base
on a foiled bunt attempt. That was in the 3rd inning. Kevin Travis bunted through a pitch, and Barney had drifted too far. He got picked off. So Donaldson's behind 0-1. Blue Jays need a little spark here. They got to get on the board. They're being shut out on 6 hits. The umpire may have gotten hit on that foul tip, and now Carlos Perez is going to go to the mound. Manny Gonzalez is the home plate umpire tonight. Kevin Pillar singled into center and then stole second base.
Well, you got the right guys up there if you're the Blue Jays. Your best hitters, your best RBI guys trying to get that run home.
Donaldson has such a good eye. Takes that close pitch for a ball. It's 1-2. Now it's 2-2.
And just get back into that count. Valdez was part of the Tigers organization until they sold him here to the Angels this past June. He's got some filthy, filthy stuff. We've seen him light up the radar guns.
Off speed pitch tapped into the Angels dugout. Valdez had a streak of 11 straight scoreless appearances from August 14th to September 9th, and then he was charged with back-to-back losses in the weekend series. Saturday against Texas and then Wednesday against Seattle. Took the loss in his back-to-back appearances. Donaldson fouls back that fastball. He's got a good arm. There's no question about that.
Upper 90s with that fastball, and it can be a little erratic at times and start walking players. Valdez, you mentioned he pitched here on Thursday. He had a strikeout and then a walk right before the home run by Russell Martin. He also walked another batter in that inning, and then he was gone. Got to make him throw it in the strike zone.
Donaldson strikes out. So Valdez comes out of the bullpen to strike out Donaldson, and Blue Jays strand another base run. They've left 8 on so far, and they've been shut out 4-0. Ryan Tepera will come into the ballgame. adversity, and they are hanging in there. Francisco Liriano, the starter for the Blue Jays tonight, throws 94 pitches over his 6 innings. He gave up a home run to Albert Pujols in the 2nd inning. Gives up 4 runs, just 2 earned runs, walked a couple and struck out 4. For Liriano, it certainly could have been a lot worse given the fact that the Blue Jays turned 3 double plays behind him.
Yeah, he gave up a share of base runners, but the double plays certainly helped him out. What didn't help him out was the errors. A couple of errors and some shoddy fielding by the Blue Jays cost him a couple of runs, and he will now give way to Ryan Tepera. Ryan has worked in 15 games for the Blue Jays this year. He's got a good arm. He was closing games down in Buffalo.
Gregorio Petit, the second baseman, takes a first pitch strike. Petit has walked and struck out. Broken bat dribbler up the third base line. That will go foul as that barrel ends up all the way past Tulowitzki on the infield dirt.
Yeah, barrel went farther than the ball. Look at that. Right in half. Time to go look for some new lumber.
We need a bat boy at short. Boy, Tepera, you said it. He's got some great stuff. This is a 2-seam fastball. Watch how it eats up Petit.
Nasty. That thing is coming in hard in mid-90s with that fastball and just saws that bat right in half. He can also cut the ball a little bit. He's got a split grip type of changeup. You can see how he sets it in his fingers right there. A split grip that it's got some pretty good movement on it.
That high cutter sails upstairs for a ball. It's 1-2. Tepera on in relief of Francisco Liriano. We are in the bottom of the 7th, and the Angels have a 4-0 lead. Popped up right side of the infield. Smoke calls for it. Now he'll give way to the second baseman, Travis. 1 away. The Blue Jays have won 5 in a row here against the Angels. They haven't lost a game since July 9, 2014 in this ballpark, and they're going to have to rally late to keep that streak intact. Shane Robinson picked up an RBI with a 2-out single in the 5th. Dane Johnson continues to serve as the pitching coach for John Gibbons as Pete Walker is still away from the ball club. That's off the end of the bat. This has got a chance to go fair, and Smoke's going to have to pick it up in foul territory. We have seen that ball roll fair. It happened with Josh Tolley in last night's game. A ball he hit up the line, and he ended up with an infield base hit. That's why everybody converged on that baseball.
Yeah, and you wait if you're the first baseman. You wait for as long as you can as that ball starts to make its way back towards the fair territory. While you're watching that runner, if it comes fair, you pick it up, you tag the runner. Then you have a decision to make. If he runs by you, then you touch the ball and just throw it away foul. Touch it while it's in foul territory. That's the 3rd time we've seen a ball dribble up the first base line here in 3 games.
Doing 1 now to the number 9 hitter, Shane Robinson. He's the left fielder tonight. Then looper into center field. There's Kevin Pillar to make the grab. 2 away. Yunel Escobar, we have seen him do some unusual things. Last night on the left, he's got number 6. Tonight on the right, he's wearing number 0.
What's up with that?
I have no idea.
No hits in number 6. Well, He's hitting over 300 for the season wearing number 6. Tonight he's going to go to 0. It hasn't worked out for him.
Came into the game last night as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning. And he reached on a fielder's choice. He tapped back to the mound with the bases loaded in the 6th inning against Joe Biagini. Pulls that one foul.
I don't think I've ever seen players change numbers from game to game. Have you? Like that?
No, I haven't.
I've seen them from season to season. They might wear one number one season and then want to change the next year, but not from game to game like that. Unless a player gets traded over here, like David Price did last year. Justin Smoke was wearing 14.
Had to change 14, yeah.
Yeah, he bought him something so he could have that number. But voluntarily changing numbers, never seen it before.
Bouncing ball. Donaldson at third will throw in a hurry, and it's offline. So Donaldson, in his first game back at third base defensively after missing 3 games and serving as the DH in games 1 and 2 here, commits an error. That's his 12th error of the season.
And the 3rd tonight for the Blue Jays. Plenty of time, and this ball just takes off on him. Justin Smoke tries to keep the ball in front of him, but that ball goes into the dugout out of play, so Escobar is going to make his way to second base.
So the error allows Escobar to end up at second. He's in scoring position for Cole Calhoun. Calhoun singled to left field and scored in the 6th. 3 errors tonight for the Blue Jays. That's 13 errors in their last 15 games. You don't have to be a baseball expert to figure out that's not very good.
No. You give teams extra outs, extra chances. You put added pressure on the defense and the pitcher.
You extend innings and you elevate the pitch count of your pitcher. He's got to make a few extra pitches to get out of that jam created by the errors. That ball is driven to the gap, and that's not going to be caught up against the wall. Escobar's around third. He comes in to score. Cole Calhoun slides in at second with his 28th double. And the Angels build upon their lead. It's now 5-0.
Looked like the Blue Jays were going to get out of this inning. A 1-2-3 inning. The error extends it. Cole Calhoun cashes him in. 2nd straight hit in this series. He singled his last time up and scored. This time he drills the ball into the gap in left center field. Escobar can trot home with the 5th run.
Calhoun 2 for 4 tonight. He got off to a shaky start with a strikeout and a double play. In his last 2 at-bats, he singled and doubled. Mike Trout takes one inside. Right back up the middle. That's into center. Here comes Calhoun around third. He's going to score. Mike Trout picks up his 90th ribby of the season. And the Angels have busted out tonight 6 runs against the Blue Jays.
That team had been struggling to score runs. Tonight, Blue Jays defense has prolonged innings and given them chances to drive in some runs. Trout's been on base 3 times. He's scored a run. He's had a stolen base tonight.
Off the end of the bat, that's passed to Parra. Travis will take his time, and Pujols is retired, but the Angels score 2 more runs here in the 7th, and they've taken a 6-0 lead over the Blue Jays.
Season ticket memberships. That membership includes benefits such as access to member-only exclusive events, enrollment into the Blue Jays My Blue Jays member program. Visit BlueJays.com/season tickets for more. Blue Jays down to their final 6 out, guys, and they need 6 runs to tie it.
Well, they sure do. They scored 7 runs in the opener, winning that one 7-2. They scored 5 last night, and they have allowed the Angels to put up 6 runs tonight. 6 runs on 8 hits. The Blue Jays have had opportunities. They've stranded 8. And now the new pitcher will be Corey Rasmus, who made an appearance here on Thursday night, threw the ball well.
Yeah, 1-2-3 inning, he got Bautista, Martin, and Tulowitzki. It's the first time he has pitched since June the 12th. And out with an injury. Scoreless inning on Thursday. All told, 15 games this season for Corey.
So for the Blue Jays, it's the big guys, Encarnacion, Bautista, and Martin, trying to get back in this game. Edmonds had a rough night. 3 strikeouts in 3 plate appearances.
Yeah, anybody but Ricky Nolasco for Edwin this at bat. Saying, Ricky, get out of here. He got him 3 times.
That's all he needed, a different look. Rasmus comes in, and Encarnacion starts it off. Another leadoff base hit for the Blue Jays. That's 6 leadoff base hits for the Blue Jays, and they've not been able to capitalize.
One other time they got the second runner on with a base hit, so they've had base runners in every inning.
Jose Bautista is 0 for 3. The Blue Jays are going to get back in this ball game. This is the inning they're going to have to do it. We're in the 8th. They're running out of time. The Red Sox have won. The Orioles have lost. So to keep pace with Boston, the Blue Jays need a big comeback.
Jose's got an on-base streak working right now, too. He's 0 for tonight. Got to get him on.
He takes his strike. Bautista's reached base in 24 straight games. That's a season high for him. He was 1 for 3 last night with a pair of walks. Base hit for Bautista. The first time they've had back-to-back base hits tonight.
That'll keep that streak alive for Jose. That's 25 games in a row. Takes advantage with 2 strikes, shooting the ball the other way. Big hole on the right side of the infield. That's what the Blue Jays need right now. Being down by 6 runs, you need base runners. That's a 4-seam fastball right on the outside corner.
So Russell Martin will step in with 2 aboard and nobody on. Russell's picked up a couple hits tonight. He's 2 for 3 tonight with a stolen base. Just keep the line moving. He goes after the first pitch, and it's a fly ball to left. Robinson is there. Martin's retired on 1 pitch. Got that high fastball. That ball he can drive out of the ballpark, and just got under it a bit.
Just missed it. I mean, he just missed that thing. First 2 batters reach base here, and Martin had a good swing, so they got that bullpen up again.
Charles Nagy, the pitching coach, will jog out to the mound to give the bullpen a little bit more time to get loose. Cody Iggy, the left-hander who pitched in last night's game, starting to loosen up.
I think they're looking at Michael Saunders' spot in the batting order. Possibly even Justin Smoke's spot in the batting order.
Right-hander Bull Schultz starting to loosen up for the Blue Jays. Angels scored 2 runs in the 7th off of Ryan Tepera. Ball and a strike to Tulowitzki. Troy is 0 for 3. Corey Rasmus, we mentioned he had a perfect inning on Thursday night. They got Bautista, Martin, and Tulowitzki. Got Tulowitzki looking at strike 3. High fly ball deep to right. Calhoun's on the run. He's going to play this one off the wall. Encarnacion is going to have to stop at third. Bautista slides in safely at second. And Bautista really hit that bag hard at second base. But Tulowitzki bounces one off the wall, and it's interesting how the base running worked out there. Generally, Encarnacion would go back and tag. Bautista would go halfway to second, but he had to scamper back. Take a look at it.
Well, the ball's not going to leave the ballpark, or is it going to be caught? So you got to go halfway. Cole Calhoun, the Gold Glover, in the outfield, almost gets him at second base. There is Encarnacion. He's going to move up 90 feet. And then Jose has got to hustle and get into second base just ahead of that throw. And you're right, he hit that bag hard. He's walking off the field right now.
So the left-hander, Cody Iggy, coming in to face Michael Saunders. The bases are loaded. Just 1 out here in the 8th. The Blue Jays will go to Seattle to take on the Mariners on Monday night. There's a young Blue Jay fan that is mimicking his hero, Jose Bautista. Bautista's at second. The Blue Jays have the bases loaded, 1 out. Cody Iggy making his 13th appearance, and as we mentioned, he came into the game, faced 2 batters last night.
He struck out Russell Martin, then gave up a long fly ball out by Travis that looked like a home run, and Mike Scioscia went to the bench.
Upton goes after the first pitch and hits a high fly ball to center. Encarnacion is tagging. He will come in to score. But now there are 2 outs. Upton picks up the RBI on the sac fly. So now Deanna Navarro will come out on deck and loosen up. He will come on to bat for Justin Smoke. Smoke 0 for 2 with a walk tonight.
John Gibbons going to his bench and trying to get the matchups that he wants. Navarro's come up with some big hits for the Blue Jays over the last few seasons. This is a big time right here. Big opportunity.
Navarro for the season 0 for 5 as a pinch hitter, 0 for 2 with the Blue Jays in that role. Batting .207 for the season, 6 homers and 34 RBIs. Began his season with the White Sox. Two and 0 to Navarro, the second pitch hitter of the inning. Three and 0. But Navarro is such an experienced hitter. He knows that his job is to get on base. You know, go up there just free wheeling.
Yeah, he could take 2 strikes here if he feels comfortable. You know he's taken 1. Blue Jays still need base runners.
There's ball 4. That'll reload the bases. Mike Scioscia's already out of the dugout. He's made the call to the bullpen. So Iggy comes in, gives up a sac fly and a walk. The Blue Jays have loaded the bases. They have scored a run here in the 8th, but they still trail by 5. Mike Morin comes in out of the bullpen when we come back.
presented by the all-new 2017 Ridgeline. A lot of things have changed, but one thing hasn't. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays, proud fan since 1977.
Been a steady parade of pitchers out of the Angels bullpen. This will be Mike Morin. He will be the 5th relief pitcher to come on for the Angels in this game.
3rd in this inning. It's September baseball. There's 10 relievers down in that bullpen that you can use, and you know, you look and you search for matchups. The Angels don't really have their go-to guys in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. They've had too many injuries. Their closer, Houston Street's on the disabled list. So right now, he's trying to patch it together. You see Ryan Goins has come in to pinch run for Navarro over at first base, trying to patch it together. And the only thing that Mike Scioscia's going on is righty versus lefty. So he's going to bring in the right-hander more, and we saw him on Thursday throw a scoreless inning.
Kevin Pillar takes a first pitch strike. Outside, it's 1-1. As Pat mentioned, Morin pitched in the ball game on Thursday, came in the 7th inning, got 2 quick outs, and then gave up a double to Josh Donaldson, but was able to get in Encarnacion. Blue Jays have scored a run here in the 8th, but they still trail 6-1. Popped up. Simmons, the shortstop, just on the edge of the grass. He's there, and the inning is over. The Blue Jays leave the bases loaded. That's 11 they have stranded in this 6-1 ball game. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio. Of the Toronto Blue Jays, proud fans since 1977.
Well, if you've been watching over the last 15 years or so, you've seen this 590 times. Albert Pujols is going to touch up Francisco Liriano with his 590th career home run, 30th this season. That got the first run of the ball game. Albert Pujols has now driven in 111 runs this year with that home run, tonight's drive of the green.
New pitcher for the Blue Jays will be the big right-hander Bo Schultz, making his 15th appearance of the season. Ryan Tepera pitched an inning, was charged with 2 runs on 2 hits. Also an error factored into that inning, and those were big runs for the Angels.
Big. A couple of other defensive changes for the Blue Jays. Ryan Goins stays in the ball game and takes over at first base. Melvin Upton, who pinch hit for Michael Saunders, takes over in left field.
Jeffrey Marte, the first baseman tonight. Marte singled in the second inning. He had an RBI ground out in the 6th. Right back to the mound. One away. Well, the Blue Jays, they saw earlier that the Red Sox beat the Yankees, and Tampa Bay has beaten the Orioles tonight. So unless they can mount a 9th inning rally, they will drop to 3 games back of the Red Sox, tied with the Orioles in second place in the AL East.
Tied for the wild card. We still don't own the wild card, nor the home field advantage in the wild card. So had their chances tonight to score more than 1 run.
They've stranded 11 tonight. And the Blue Jays have gone 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Andrew Bailey had a rough inning last night. He is loosening up as we speak. Bailey gave up a 2-run home run to Encarnacion in the 9th. He gave up 3 runs on 3 hits in the 9th inning. Ball is drilled to center field. Pilar is back there and makes the play. Anderson Simmons flies out to center field. Carlos Perez started out the game on the bench. He was not the starting catcher. Jet Bandy was the starter, but he was injured in his only at bat in the 2nd inning, and Perez came on to start the 3rd inning behind the plate. At the plate tonight, he's gone over 2 with a strikeout. He goes after the first pitch, and it's a high fly ball to left. Upton is there, and Bo Schultz retires the side in order. So we will go to the top of the 9th. Blue Jays are down by 5. It'll be the top of the order against Andrew Bailey when we come back to Anaheim. Eliminated from that National League Central race as the Cubs have wrapped it up. So now they have focused on the wild card race, and they are closing ground. They've gained the ground on the Giants side. They're just a game back from the 2nd spot.
Ricky Nolasco threw 6 beautiful innings tonight, did not give up a run. We have now starting our 3rd inning since he's left the game, and this is our 6th relief pitcher. Andrew Bailey trying to nail this one down. He's had closing experience in his career. All-star closer with Oakland, 2nd time that we have seen Andrew Bailey in this series.
Top of the order for the Blue Jays. Devin Travis has had a big night. He's 3 for 4. He flied out the left in his last at bat. We mentioned Bailey had a rough inning last night. Came in to pitch the ninth. Gave up a double to Russell Martin to start the inning. And Travis singled. Donaldson had a sac fly, and Encarnacion hit a home run. A 2-run shot, and Bailey was out of the game. One and 2 and 1-2. Devin.
Good fastball right there from Bailey. He goes upstairs. Joe Smith was the setup man here for the Los Angeles Angels, and he was traded away. Houston Street was the closer, and he's been injured. So Mike Scioscia has been searching for somebody to close out some ball games for him.
You could see Bailey after that previous pitch was talking to himself about getting the ball down. And he left that ball up out over the plate. Of course, he has watched Devin Travis collect 3 hits tonight. Devin's had 2 4-hit games this season. His average at .309.
Still hasn't been able to get that ball down. I don't think that's by design right there. You see all those pitches clustered up in the strike zone.
There's a good example of all those pitches. I think you're right. I think he's trying to pitch Travis down, but he hasn't been able to get it down. Breaking ball that hung out there, and he fouls it into the seats. Travis has lived up to his advanced billing. When we first got him from the Tigers, everybody said he's a good offensive player, and he's lived up to that. When he's healthy, he can swing the bat.
Boy, he came on strong, right? And right out of spring training, hit 300 in April. And had that injury. He was out for a while, tried to come back, and then just couldn't.
There he strikes out on a breaking ball. 1 away. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here's Martine Guyard. Thanks, Martine. That's coming up right after this game, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We are in the 9th inning, and the Angels lead it 6-1. Josh Donaldson has gone over 3. He was hit by a pitch in his 4th plate appearance. That came in the 3rd inning. The Angels scoring 6 runs tonight. They had scored a total of 16 runs in their previous 10 games, going 1-9 in those 10 games. They took advantage of some shaky defense tonight. Blue Jays have been charged with 3 errors tonight.
They've helped them out, and it looks like those 3 errors and a wild pitch also thrown in there has cost the Jays 5 runs.
When you really think about it, it could be much worse had they not turned 3 double plays. Blue Jays got double plays in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Snuffing out some of those rallies. One of those after an error by Liriano. On a comeback, he tried to make a throw to second base. Charged with an error there.
Breaking ball for a strike. It's 2-2 to Donaldson. Remember, the final game tomorrow. Marcus Stroman will go to the mound against Alex Meyer. And Stroman looking for his 10th win of the season. Donaldson covers that outside pitch. Then the Blue Jays would go to Seattle. And the pitching matchup, Seattle's throwing the best they got at the Blue Jays. Taijuan Walker, Hisashi Iwakuma, and Felix Hernandez. The Blue Jays will counter with their best. Marco Estrada, Jay Happ, and Aaron Sanchez.
Big series. I mean, they're trying to keep Seattle off of their tail. They're trying to stay in the wild card race. They're trying to overtake the Boston Red Sox. Red Sox don't look like they're going to lose, do they?
Sure doesn't look like that. Boston really was energized when they had that comeback win on the Hanley Ramirez 3-run home run in the bottom of the ninth. And all of these teams are going to play one another.
5-run innings in the bottom of the ninth to have walk-off wins do that to you. Get you fired up.
Well, and then the Red Sox are going to Baltimore for a 4-game series while the Blue Jays are in Seattle.
Huge. Huge.
Boston goes on a long road trip. 4 in Baltimore, 3 in Tampa Bay, 3 in New York. So their final home game before the weekend series ending season. That drilled to center field. Trout's on his horse, and he's going to get there and makes the catch. Josh Donaldson hit it on the line to center field, and Mike Trout just closed ground and caught it before it got to the wall in center.
Way back in the first inning, we highlighted him. On our defense, you can see he has started in right center field, and Donaldson pulls the ball into the gap in left center field, but the great speed of Mike Trout just runs down that baseball.
He has explosive speed.
Yeah, a lot like Kevin Kiermaier, the center fielder for the Tampa Bay Rays. They're very similar defensively. A step and a half, and they're in full speed. He can cover some ground.
Blue Jays down to their final out. Edwin goes after the first pitch and fouls it back out of play. Edwin had a single against Corey Rasmus in the 8th inning. He struck out 3 times against Ricky Nolasco tonight. Breaking ball hit down the line for Encarnacion, his 2nd hit of the night. That keeps the Blue Jays' hopes alive here in the 9th.
And it'll be up to Jose Bautista to keep it going. That's a good sign. A couple of hits by Encarnacion.
Bautista singled his last time up. Blue Jays. First time they had back-to-back hits in this ball game came in the 8th inning. It was against Corey Rasmus. Blue Jays have now out-hit the Angels 10-8.
They've outleft them on base too tonight. They've had a base runner in every inning.
Blue Jays have stranded 11 base runners. The Angels 4. There's that big lineup card with both teams in the lineup. Little check swing tapper that rolls towards second, and that's going to be the ball game. So the Angels score 6 runs on 8 hits, take advantage of some shaky Blue Jays defense, and they have won the first game in this 3-game series. 2 games to 1. The Blue Jays have the lead, and they'll play for the series win tomorrow with Marcus Stroman going to the mound.
Still got a chance to do that, win the series when you're on the road, then head to Seattle. I think you got to still stop Mike Trout and Albert Pujols in the middle of the lineup for the Angels if you're thinking about winning the series tomorrow.
We'll be back at it tomorrow afternoon, so we want to thank you for watching tonight. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Stay tuned. Here comes Sportsnet Central. Martine Guyard and Brendan Dunlop.